Confirm __ future _ import, guarantee Python 2 and 3 compatibility. I'm not interested in warming up the Python 2 or Python 3 questions, even though the most recent one I found is over 1 year old, but I stumbled upon this claim. You can write the Python 3 code under Python 2 if your file begins with the line. With that line in place, your code will work with either Python 2 or Python 3. There may be rare cases in which it doesn't work, but I have not found any. Is this true? Is this single line enough to make sure the code you write will run on both Python 2.x equals 2.5 I assume, and 3.x, assuming the modules imported are available in both?
It will make it more likely, but there are some things that cannot be gained from __ future _ import, and some things that are removed going into 3.x. Off the top of my head, you could still use parameter tuple unpacking, which is removed in 3.x, and you won't be able to use the nice tuple unpacking with the star operator that is introduced in 3.x. E.g. That said, with some care to avoid such things, you could definitely write code that works across both versions, yes. Obviously, this also only applies to 2.x versions that have the features backported into them. Because of this, some of that line is actually completely pointless. For example, there is no reason to import generators, as any version that can import the with statement will already have generators working as standard. Same goes for nested _ scopes. In general, I recommend just writing for 3.x, there are no barriers to having both versions installed and usable. If you really desperately need 2.x support, then write for 2.x with as many of the backported features as you want, and use 2 to 3 to clean up anything else.
I would say that no, this is baloney. Even with those imports, there are still significant differences between Python 2 and 3. For example, input in Python 3 is like raw _ input, in Python 2, range in Python 3 is like srange in Python 2. In the case of srange, you could probably get away with using range in Python 2 as long as the ranges are small, but if they're large, your program could have very different memory usage under Python 2 and Python 3. You could add something like this to your code. But then you've got to find all those edge cases and fix them up. For example, there are the keys and values methods of dict that return iterators in Python 3 but lists in Python 2, so you'd need to write a dict subclass that fixes that, and then never use dictionary literals in your code without wrapping them, since those would otherwise be of the built-in dict type. I suppose that, by using __ future _ and various fix-ups, and by limiting yourself to writing code in a subset of Python thus created that will run under both 2.x and 3.x, it might be possible to write code that runs in both versions. Seems like a lot of work, though. There's a reason there's a 2 to 3 utility.
It's not impossible, depending on the demands of your codebase. You will probably find the 6.2-3 library essential. Another useful tool is Python Modernize, which attempts to convert your code to a cross-compatible state.
Nah, others have pointed out some difference. There are others. One of the most fundamental is that Python 3 native strings are multi-byte. This raises issues when communicating with single-byte mechanisms, like pipes to other processes. Others include the renaming of modules. Tkinter to tkinter, true and false are now keywords. Even comparisons might not be the same. The following incorrect code produces a type error on py3, but not on py2. Unpacking has been mentioned. The dictionary methods items, keys, and values, return view objects, different method names are used on 2.7. In py3 iterators are used more, for example returned from map, and filter, and so on.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.